Hey everyone, this is Dzigman, and I wanted to go over a quick Google Classroom with you before the release. We just learned today, through a lot of posts on Google Plus, that Google Classroom will actually be released the week of August 11th, which is great news for all the teachers and administrators who are looking to implement Classroom earlier in their school year or before their school year started. So, thanks a lot to the Classroom team for getting Classroom up and running beforehand. I wanted to run through some big features that people have been asking about and talk about some of the things that aren't yet features, just so that you have an expectation next week when it goes live, what's going on and what you can expect. So just this is your main home loading page. When you go to classroom.google.com, this is where you land, and here are all the different classes that I'm a part of. Now, either I was added to this class, I created the class, or I used a class invite code to get into this class. When Classroom goes live for your entire domain, it will allow you to add students within your domain to other classes. If you're the problem is a lot of schools seem to still be on split domains where students and teachers are on completely separate domains, not managed by the same app console. So if that's the case, Classroom won't be really easy to implement in your school setting. Um, there is no official word on whether this is going to be a part of this upcoming release, but based upon, I imagine, the monumental task of merging these two domains together in terms of functionality and how domains are often broken off from each other in terms of functionality, I would say it's a safer bet than not that this feature won't be included in the full release. Now, let's take a look at a class from the student perspective and a class from the teacher's perspective. We're going to start off with let's see, which one am I going to start off with? How to Classroom 101. Let's start off there. So you'll notice at the top you'll have a photo that you can customize for your own needs. You can basically pick whatever photo you want from here to customize for your classroom. If you're a science classroom, maybe you'll want science one, whatever. And that sets your whole different theme for the rest of your page in terms of colors. I know a couple people have asked about customization, and this is how you can customize your classroom. You have two main tabs, Stream and Students. The Stream allows you to post announcements, just text announcements, just like this. You can even put videos in there if you want. See here, you can attach files. So maybe when you're welcoming your class for the new year, you'll want to use a paperclip, maybe attach your course policies, or maybe they're stored on drives, so you can put them there. You could also put YouTube videos or links, maybe to an article that you read over the summer or something like that. And it's more than just the teachers can post announcements, students can post in the stream, all those kinds of things. We also have the assignment here. This allows you to create an assignment as well. So this means that you can create the title of an assignment, description of the assignment, the due date and time, and then any files associated with, for example, directions, a template file. In this case, usually what you'll use is this is a template file, and then students will get their own copy of it. They can edit it for their own purposes, and then they can turn it in. Actually, let me go to an assignment just so you can see the full process. So you can see here that one person has gone in here to the assignment in the summer book report and has turned in their assignment. So what that means is if I click here, going in the summer thing, this says this is my book report. I can make comments. Now with the suggestive edits, I can make a suggestive edit. So I can say, that you should really be using a cap here or a period there, those kinds of things. And then your student can go back in and fix those things later. So if you notice, if we go back into the document, all those settings that I had before got saved, so I can go back to it later. And then I can assign points too. I can decide maybe this assignment's going to be worth 100 points, maybe it's going to be worth 1,000 points. And you can manually edit this. These are just common point values. Or you can make the assignment ungraded. You also can go straight to the Google Drive folder where these folders are located. This is also a good time to note that Google Drive is currently moving towards these custom pages for each of their document editors, docs, sheets, and slides. So if you go to drive.google.com, you're fine. But if you currently have bookmarks that go to docs.google.com, then that means that you would start going to the docs landing page, which isn't probably where you were planning on going. So if that's the case, you want to make sure that you change your bookmarks so that they go to drive.google.com instead of docs.google.com, if that's how you've been trying to get to the Google Drive landing page. Take me to Drive, buddy. Alright, cool. And you'll see under here, it's my Drive Classroom. Here are all my classes. So, and I was in Classroom 101, which was over here. It's actually by course number. So, sometimes. So that one was named by the course number. And then, there we go. How to Classroom 101. I can't read today. And then it's by course assignment. And then here's your specific assignment. But I can look at all the assignments from my class if I had all my students in here. All right, back to here. So in order for them to see their grade, I have to give this guy a grade. Like 90, let's say 15. I can also put in a comment here and say, hey, you didn't finish your book. And I can edit and delete comments too. And then you would just return that, and then they would be able to see. You can return individual students, or you can, all of them. You can also download here. If you download, you actually get a CSV with your grades in them. And email, that allows you to email that student. So, in this case, if you have Gmail enabled, what it'll do is it'll pop up there we go. It'll actually pop up with that person's email. And then I can email them right away. Okay. And then the assignment details just allows you to see what the assignment was, when it was due, those kinds of things. Now from the student perspective, you'll notice that it's pretty much the same. The only difference is you can share with your class as opposed to posting assignments or announcements. Basically comment access, think of it that way. But you can still post files and such, it's just showing with a different purpose. Here's happens to be the professor of the class. I can click and send him an email right there if he has Gmail enabled. Or I should say rather if the domain has Gmail enabled, because otherwise that wouldn't be the case. And you can see all the other students in the class who are students. So that's great. And it Also notice here it'll tell me that, oh, my assignment's overdue. I should really turn that in. That's one thing I wanted to go over quick is how to add students. So you can add students again. Hereby I can just add via email addresses. So you'll notice it's currently loading the contacts, but there's a couple different categories. So basically it can be from your own personal contact book or your domain's contact book or the other groups, basically. And you can also give them this class code, which you have the opposite of resetting or disabling. And another good thing to point out would be is that you can manually override any of these settings in terms of sharing and Drive while you're the owner. So that means if, since right now we don't have multiple teacher access, you could give access to whole folders to other people. And since that's the case, you would be able to share access so that, say, your TAs could access the grades or excuse me, the assignments so that they could do some grading and things of that nature. These are the big things I wanted to go over. I know there's more questions that people will have about them, and I think more things will come up as the product rolls out to more domains. So if you do have questions, feel free to post on the Google Classroom forum. Your app domain administrator will have gotten an email by now that says that information, but it's located under the Google Apps for Education forum, and then there's a classroom section. You can post in there. You can plus me on Google Plus. You can use unofficially, you can use the Google Classroom community on Google Plus as well. But we're more than happy to answer your questions, and we're always listening to future requests. This send feedback button in the bottom right-hand corner is huge for you to be able to do that. So make sure you take advantage of that because we're really listening for your feedback to make the product better. Thanks for watching this little demo of Google Classroom, and we wish you best of luck next week with getting Classroom Live out to your teachers and your students.